Our gathering today under the theme Media Resilience in the Face of Adversity, Overcoming Energy and AI-Driven Disruptions is timely and crucial for the future of Zambia's media landscape. Mr. President, I would like to begin firstly by commending you and your government for delivering on one of the longest-standing promises from successive administration. And by this, I'm talking about the enactment of the Access to Information Bill, which is now law as an Access to Information Act. However, Mr. President, we hope that the implementation of this law will proceed smoothly to benefit all of Zambians, ensuring that the bottlenecks, especially around public appeals with the Human Rights Commission, are promptly resolved. We have united to establish the Media Self-Regulation Council of Zambia. Today, Mr. President, we are proud to demonstrate and present the Code of Ethics and the Constitution of the Media Self-Regulation Council, developed with input from journalists across the country. This council is a testament to our commitment towards the upholding of professional standards and fostering accountability in our industry. The challenges faced by the media, Mr. President, are not confined to issues only of ethics and press freedom. Our challenges extend to the very business, to intelligence and digital platforms. The prevailing energy crisis has severely hampered the ability of media houses to operate effectively. Radio and television stations, as well as newspapers, are struggling to keep their operations going due to the constant power outages. Your Excellency, to run a TV or radio station today needs 24/7 backup generators, an average weekly cost of almost 18,000 kwacha per week on diesel. This cost is unsustainable. On top of this, the viewership, the listenership of our programs have declined drastically. We were given a report this morning by one of our signal carriers that TV subscriptions have dropped to as low as 30%. People are not watching TV. Households, the consumers, the viewers, are equally affected by this. This further shrinks the revenue streams of media houses as advertisers, because the business houses are now pulling out due to the fact that there are no eyeballs, and there indeed are on the brink of collapse if nothing is done quickly. We acknowledge that government has made efforts such as the removal of import duty on solar equipment and other energy alternatives. Remain the newspapers that have large printing presses that require huge generators. And that is why we support, as the Media Owners Association of Zambia, the proposal from my colleague from Uganda. And Mr. President, on behalf of our membership, we are asking for a stimulus or incentives through your government. And I must say that we've not been, President, a vibrant and sustainable media. We urge you, Mr. President, to at least create either some tax incentives or a stimulus for this media to survive. We have gone as far as making our submissions to the Budget Committee of 2025, And we hope that as parliamentarians debate this, the media will be fully considered as a critical sector. Like has been said, when there is crisis, cholera, COVID, we, the media, are at the forefront and at the center of distributing information at cost, yet manufacturers, miners are given incentives. Why can't the media be given those incentives? Audiences and tell compelling stories. On the other, they have unleashed a wave of disruptions undermining our traditional revenue models and creating an uneven playing field. The media, in its current positioning and dispensation, can be leveraged to provide jobs for many creatives and producers, thereby contributing to our country's GDP and revenue. We have seen this, Your Excellency, through streaming platforms such as Netflix, Showmax, Amazon, that have shown that AI-driven content can generate billions of dollars worldwide. And so our appeal is that as government, we want you to begin to recognize media just beyond the newsroom and reporting to media as a business. And borrowing from your words, Your Excellency, the media is an avenue for jobs, 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 jobs. Very important. Beyond these disruptions, we must also consider the economic reality of running media businesses. The media is not just about reporters and editors. It is a complex ecosystem that requires sound business policies to sustain itself. From advertising revenues to distribution channels, media houses need a conducive environment to thrive. We hope government will understand our sector beyond just news, but as an industry contributing to national growth, again, through job creation. With the right policies and support, media can be a game changer for youth employment and wealth creation. Your Excellency, there have been some long-standing issues around broadcast media licensing in the country. Our appeal to our regulator, the IBA, has always been to consider the operational needs of players in a shrinking advertising market. There is also a need to align the IBA and ZICTA in order to create opportunities for members to monetize the digital space. This is even more necessary in areas covered by telecoms as content aggregators. More as further proposes a discussion around the possibility of further introducing a radio levy as is with TV to support the sector. Under print and newspapers, Your Excellency, the removal of value-added tax exemption and the introduction of a 16% tax on print and digital newspapers has further plummeted the newspaper businesses. This measure practically takes away the financial lifeline for the sector amid high production costs, declining print circulation, and difficulties in growing digital revenues. In the case of digital content, the introduction of VAT creates a case of double taxation in that consumers accessing the service have already paid VAT on the purchase of internet data. We recommend that print and digital newspapers be zero-rated for VAT. This is necessary to make news accessible to all, and I would like to take this opportunity to report that again, as an association, we have made submissions and even engaged the Commissioner General of the Zambia Revenue Authority. But, Mr. President, I'd like to take advantage of your being here, and my members will not forgive me if I do not speak on their behalf on this matter. Media houses are unable to do business with government because the tax authority in most cases will not issue them tax certificate, and so they cannot invoice, and their accounts are being garnished more often due to late payments on their invoicing. Business is difficult. We have requested that we are put on a cash invoicing basis, but more so, Mr. President, in your triangle of procurement, you talk about the right price, efficiency, and value for money. The ZPPA has a price index that does not reflect the cost of operations and the cost of doing business in media. And we hope that these bottlenecks can be looked at and be revisited. The other challenge, Your Excellency, our membership is largely formed of private media. Apart from a small number of players in the private sector advertising, government is the biggest player to advertise. Private media are not receiving support from government. I need to tell you the truth. And some of the ministers and permanent secretaries, while we've lobbied for this, have answered that they will not support us if we do not support government in the manner in which we report. I think it's time we separated the editorial independence and the business side. Government needs to support private media. We have witnessed instances even where adverts are placed in a newspaper and the next day, because of an editorial, those adverts are pulled away. We need government support in that realm of advertising. Mr. President, I also want to remind you of the directive you issued regarding the Ministry of Local Government working with media houses through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. You say this is a game changer, and when we met you at State House, you said there was a media component under CDF. I also want to report that this initiative be expedited so that media houses both in rural and urban areas can benefit, as this has not fully materialized. As I conclude, Mr. President, allow me to reiterate that a thriving, independent, and professional media is vital to our democracy and the development of our country. We are not asking for special treatment, but rather for a fair and conducive environment in which we can viably operate. The news media has an irreplaceable role of informing citizens, holding those that hold power accountable, and fostering national dialogue. To do this effectively, we need an operating environment that allows us to be both sustainable and independent. As the saying goes, Mr. President, a hungry media or a hungry journalist is a dangerous one. Let us ensure that the media industry in our country is not left hungry, but is supported in its quest to remain a professional, ethical, and resilient pillar of democracy. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing us with your presence today, and we look forward to hearing how government intends to support the media in overcoming these challenges and ensuring that we continue to serve the Zambian people with dignity and professionalism. I thank you.
Well done, Mr. Mwansa. Thank you.